Bonjour et bienvenue au French Tech Podcast. Welcome to the French Tech Podcast here covering Big Data World Conference in Singapore. Now, it is my pleasure to welcome my next guest, Alex. Could I ask you to introduce yourself, Alex?
Okay, well, thank you very much and thanks for having me here today. So my name is Alex. I take care of partner sales for Denodo in the Asia Pacific region. Denodo is a software company. We are providing probably the most modern way of integrating data, no matter if it's structured, unstructured data, classic data like SQL or big data, IoT data. We're probably providing customers with the largest agility in helping them to transform their business and adjust to the changing business climate that you see constantly out there.
So could you give an example of something that you've done recently for a client here in the region that illustrates the value that you provide?
Yeah. So one of the customers we've been working with is a major banking company here in the region. So they had, let's say, a very large data warehouse in place, which was getting very expensive for them to maintain. So they put in place a data lake as well. Data virtualization from Denodo was put in as a technology layer, middleware layer on top of that to integrate the data from their existing data warehouse plus the Hadoop cluster that they put in place as well, which at the end of the day helped them to protect their investment in all the consuming applications for analytics and BI. They could change their storage infrastructure without impacting their consuming application, which means that protected actually the investment they had done in that space.
How do you find the development here in the region compared to the rest of the world? Are the questions that businesses are trying to solve sort of similar? Do you get the same kinds of challenges here?
You see, it's twofold. On one side, Asia Pacific is for me, as from an experience perspective, usually a few years behind from a technology development in, let's say, in Europe or in the US. On the other side, everybody's got the same business challenges. And while we are a technology company, we're helping to solve technology problems. So we're absolutely relevant with the solution that we provide. And we can probably help companies over here to leapfrog a little bit some technology developments by introducing now a very hot topic in the data world, actually.
I see. So I guess there's a very big demand here in the region, right? There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of growth, a lot of things going on around data analytics and e-commerce, for example, which is really booming. What is the one thing in the market right now that you're most excited about?
I think what you're describing is probably the one thing that's covering it, which is growth. I mean, We're seeing an incredible demand for data virtualization. There are different use cases in place, like, for example, the move from on-premise to a hybrid environment or into the cloud. We see that need for agility, so instead of doing long-term projects which take you 2 to 3 years, we can help customers to do same projects in 3 to 6 months. We see, for example, API management as a big topic as well, which we can address as also. And I mean, data overall is a hot topic, and we see a lot of demands for that also then from a security and governance perspective.
That's interesting. Security and government. Is there a lot of diverse demands with regards to that in the region?
Well, the demands are probably similar in each country. Everybody's understands to the value of data. At the same time, in a region like in Asia or in APAC, you see a lot of data sovereignty requirements, for example, and compliance requirements. With data virtualization, we're actually not moving the data out of the country, which is actually a big topic for a lot of companies who are operating internationally. So in that sense, we're kind of helping them right from the start to be compliant with those data sovereignty requirements from the regulators.
That's very interesting. I'm sure that carries with it a certain set of challenges all on its own, right?
It obviously carries some challenges with it, but on the other side, I mean, we have been doing this business for the last 20 years. So we have built in a lot of that experience from the US, from EMEA, and again, Asia Pacific is able to leverage that right from the start.
So Asia Pacific, very exciting region to be, very exciting region to capture some of the opportunities that are generated by that growth. But if you had to choose, what would be the number one challenge that keeps you up at night, that's really difficult to tackle?
I think, well, it's not difficult. I think one of the interesting areas over here is that while data virtualization as a technology is about 20 years old,
Right.
in Asia Pacific, awareness is still an area where not every company has actually been exposed to Denodo, so we're still doing a lot of education to the market. On the other side, as soon as people start realizing, oh, a solution like data virtualization exists, then they get extremely excited and identify very, very quickly a whole number of use cases where data virtualization can actually help them in comparison to the more traditional data integration technologies.
It's really just a matter of helping them make that switch to go, there's a whole set of problems that we could be solving that we're not solving right now, thanks to data virtualization.
Exactly.
Right. Oh, very interesting. Very glad you took the time to come and talk to us today, and I hope you enjoyed the conference.
Absolutely. Great conference, lots of people over here, lots of great conversations.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks for dropping by. Thanks.
Thank you.